On March 4, 2024, while patrolling Interstate 75, Trooper Sciarra spotted a white Dodge Charger traveling northbound with heavily tinted windows. The Charger weaved across lanes, moving from the inside lane to the middle, and then into the right lane. Once the vehicle reached the outside lane, Sciarra activated his emergency lights and siren, but instead of stopping, the Charger accelerated at a high rate of speed, igniting a pursuit. The Charger barreled southbound on Interstate 75, weaving recklessly through traffic and even using the shoulder to pass vehicles. Trooper Benson Prosper took over as the primary unit, closing in and positioning himself directly behind the fleeing car. While weaving through traffic at nearly 120 miles per hour, the white Dodge Charger occupied the middle lane as Trooper Prosper held position in the outside lane. When the suspect attempted to swerve around him, both vehicles collided, sending them out of control. The Charger veered onto the grass shoulder near mile marker 148 before plunging into a ditch filled with roughly 2 feet of water, where it came to rest. Meanwhile, Trooper Prosper's patrol unit slid along the grass shoulder, rotating clockwise until it finally stopped facing northwest. Despite the crash, both troopers swiftly took command of the scene. After ordering the occupants out, Trooper Prosper and Trooper Sciarra took 2 black male suspects into custody. A search of the driver revealed a plastic bag of marijuana in his pocket, while a search of the Charger uncovered additional marijuana, drug paraphernalia, and a loaded handgun concealed in the glove box. EMS evaluated both individuals on scene. The driver, identified as Tobias Cody, was transported to the Charlotte County Jail and charged with fleeing, reckless driving, possession of a controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, and aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. On September 11, 2025, dispatch alerted that Oklahoma police were in pursuit of a Jeep Wrangler heading eastbound on Interstate 40 toward Arkansas in connection with a counterfeit money investigation. Trooper Matthew Price, already in the area, immediately responded to the call and quickly assumed the role of primary unit in the pursuit.
Got the closely going for TBI. Fire TBI, that's circle. Still southbound. Pass Cloverleaf. Careful, that's the circle. Pass Cloverleaf.
On Interstate 540 near the 3-mile marker, Trooper Ron Elkins attempted to deploy spike strips, but the Jeep's driver swerved and narrowly avoided them, forcing the pursuit to continue at high speed.
Oh man, don't do that.
I don't think you get it. Fourteen 44th man just by, let him know that he's swerving in and out, trying to stop the TBI. Motor check. 10-4. Go there for TBI. TBI! 1316, roll. 10-4, TBI rollover.
After crossing the Arkansas River Bridge, Trooper Price executed a precise pit maneuver in a traffic clearing, sending the Jeep into a counterclockwise spin that smashed it against the concrete median barrier. The vehicle then whipped clockwise, rolled onto its driver's side, slid across both lanes, and slammed into the guardrail on the right shoulder before finally coming to rest. The driver crawled out through the passenger side door, but refused to comply with commands to put his hands behind his back. Concerned the suspect might be reaching for a weapon, Trooper Price deployed his taser, quickly subduing him and making the arrest without further incident. EMS arrived promptly to assess the suspect, and after receiving medical clearance, he was transported to the Crawford County Justice Center. The driver, identified as Maurice Gonzalez, now faces charges of fleeing, reckless driving, possession of a controlled substance, resisting arrest, driving on a suspended license, and operating with expired tags. On January 24, 2023, Trooper Barnett was traveling on Celia Drive when a white Chevrolet pickup truck ran a stop sign, narrowly missing the passenger side of his patrol unit. Barnett quickly turned around and activated his emergency lights, signaling the driver to pull over. Instead of complying, the driver executed a sudden U-turn, jumped out of the pickup, entered a white Nissan Altima, and fled.
Where are you going? Stop! Right now! Stop! Stop! They're still going. Again.
The Nissan turned into a private parking lot, attempting to use a second exit to merge into a busy intersection. Trooper Barnett attempted to stop the vehicle by using his patrol unit's front push bumper to strike the rear driver's side, causing the Nissan to spin. Despite the maneuver, the vehicle jumped over a curb in a continued attempt to flee. Barnett circled the parking lot and successfully pinned the car, fully disabling it. By that time, the original violator had already exited the moving vehicle and fled on foot, and the driver followed suit. A search of the Nissan uncovered a clear plastic bag containing crack cocaine, several packages of marijuana, 3 cell phones, a bag with multiple MDMA pills, and a Glock 23. Witnesses reported seeing the suspects enter a nearby apartment building, but they were not located. On September 14, 2025, Trooper Tanner Middlecoff, assigned to Interstate Criminal Patrol, was monitoring traffic on the interstate when he observed a white Honda Accord exceeding the speed limit. He initiated a traffic stop, and at first, the driver appeared compliant by pulling over. But the moment Middlecoff stepped out of his patrol unit, the driver suddenly accelerated away, sparking a pursuit. The pursuit escalated as the Honda Accord reached nearly 130 miles per hour, forcing Trooper Middlecoff to close the distance and execute a pit maneuver. The fleeing vehicle spun out and slammed into the median, leaving it fully disabled. When the driver refused to comply with commands to exit, multiple troopers arrived as backup, along with a canine unit, and together they pulled the suspect out through the passenger side door. The driver was taken into custody without further incident, and, after being transported to the county jail, was charged with fleeing, reckless driving, simultaneous possession of drugs and firearms, and criminal mischief. On March 3, 2023, Troop D Dispatch reported a vehicle theft involving a red 2016 GMC Sierra at Shell Lake Grocery in St. Francis County, with the stolen vehicle last seen traveling eastbound on I-40. Trooper Morris promptly responded, heading toward the interstate to intercept the suspect vehicle.
Speed's 93. Call it 420.
Given the time of day, road conditions, and surrounding traffic, Trooper Morris made the tactical decision to perform a pit maneuver before the stolen vehicle entered heavier traffic. The maneuver caused the GMC Sierra to spin and collide with a guardrail, rendering it disabled. Trooper Morris, assisted by Trooper Foltz, safely executed a felony takedown of the driver. Once taken into custody, the driver was identified as Jeremiah Green. A dispatch check revealed he had no valid driver's license and was also wanted on an extradition warrant for felony theft in Tennessee. Green was transported to the Crittenden County Detention Center and charged with fleeing, theft by receiving, reckless driving, and operating without a valid license. On April 8, 2025, Trooper Bonanno was on routine patrol on Interstate 4 East when he spotted a Chevrolet Malibu speeding past at roughly 90 miles per hour in a 60 miles per hour zone. He immediately activated his emergency lights and siren to initiate a traffic stop. Instead of complying, the vehicle accelerated sharply, weaving dangerously through traffic and sparking a high-speed pursuit.
We got a vehicle not stopping from the I-4 eastbound. Out of Tennessee, 840, Bravo Yankee, Bravo Mike, I'm 1031.
You're in the express lane for my money.
We're in the express lanes right now.
Tempo, what's your speed?
Speed's about 90.
It's April 4 with Michigan Division. All units 51 around location.
Gonna try to hit.
Tempo, testing a hit.
Hit Bell, still heading westbound. Red light coming up. He's spoken.
got the radio. Southbound OBT. What's the vehicle description? Chevy Impala. Southbound OBT going 108.4.
At the intersection of Orange Blossom Trail, Trooper Bonanno attempted a pit maneuver on the fleeing Chevrolet. The Malibu spun out, briefly traveling against oncoming traffic, but miraculously regained control and continued its flight. Trooper Bellevoir then assumed the role of primary unit in the pursuit.
Is your GPS working?
Should be 10-4.
You're northbound on Division?
Now eastbound on Anderson Street. Attempting to people.
Turn around. Anderson, east side Anderson.
Still eastbound on Anderson Street. Just by Summer Lane Avenue.
We are going over I-4 on Anderson.
Going under this parking garage.
I'm still eastbound Anderson. Just keep updating.
Bit.
Successful?
I'm successful. We are at that news station in the parking lot.
Alright, we need a cross street. Have you went under 408 yet?
After a series of pit maneuver attempts, the fleeing Chevrolet finally reached a dead end. Trooper Bellevoir was able to bring the vehicle to a complete stop in the parking lot of 490 East South Street. The male driver, later identified as Tristan Stephen Dixon, exited the Malibu and attempted to flee on foot, but was apprehended and arrested shortly thereafter. The female passenger, later identified as Melissa Ann Dre, also fled the vehicle but was subsequently located and arrested without further incident. EMS arrived on scene and Dixon was transported to Orlando Regional Medical Center. However, he refused medical treatment. A records check revealed that Dixon had multiple outstanding warrants in both Orange and Osceola counties. A search of the vehicle uncovered approximately 200 hotel receipts containing victims' dates of birth, along with copies of credit cards showing account numbers and expiration dates. Additionally, over 100 credit card numbers were found written down. Investigators determined that Dixon, employed at a hotel, had been making unauthorized copies of credit cards for fraudulent use. He was charged with reckless driving, fleeing, theft, and trafficking. On January 25, 2024, Florida Highway Patrol troopers initiated a traffic stop on a Silverado truck occupied by 3 individuals to investigate the driver for suspected drug possession. When signaled to pull over, the Silverado refused to comply and instead accelerated into a high-speed pursuit, recklessly weaving along the turnpike.
lasso, go, lasso, go.
After several minutes of pursuit, and with the risk to other motorists increasing, a Florida Highway Patrol trooper executed a pit maneuver on the fleeing Silverado. The truck spun out, but in the chaos, struck the patrol vehicle, which then collided with a passing SUV. Both the Silverado and the patrol unit were disabled from the impact. All three occupants, 26-year-old Vincent Fernandez Barbosa, 30-year-old Julian Montez, and 33-year-old Tremaine Reed, were taken into custody without further incident. During the investigation, it was discovered that the suspects had discarded a bag containing cocaine and 3 firearms while attempting to flee. The trio was booked into the Broward County Main Jail by BSO deputies on charges of armed cocaine trafficking, and their bond was denied. On June 3, 2023, a Georgia state trooper was patrolling GA 204 eastbound when he spotted a gray Dodge Challenger traveling at an excessive speed. The trooper activated his emergency lights and siren in an attempt to conduct a traffic stop, but instead of yielding, the Challenger accelerated even faster, sparking a pursuit that continued eastbound.
Pit, Reagan pit. I think we're on to end. Stand by.
As the pursuit reached Harry S. Truman Parkway, the trooper executed a pit maneuver, bringing the chase to a successful end. The Dodge Challenger spun counterclockwise, slammed into the eastbound concrete median barrier, and came to an uncontrolled stop. The trooper exited his patrol unit, drew his department-issued Glock, and issued commands for the driver to exit. The suspect complied and was taken into custody without further incident. When asked why he fled, the driver admitted he had already received one speeding ticket and didn't want another. While speaking with him, the trooper detected a strong odor of marijuana. A search of the Challenger revealed a clear plastic bag containing marijuana. The driver was transported by EMS for medical clearance before being booked into the county jail, where he was charged accordingly. Thank you all for watching this video. Make sure to comment which clip you liked the most. Also, don't forget to subscribe and like this video.